Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Landscaping to the Point. We are live finally after Josh took 70 minutes to log on. I think he was spooning and he really didn't want to get out of bed because he is the little spoon. So, I mean, usually the little spoon always never wants to get away from the big spoon. So, welcome all to Landscaping to the Point. We haven't been on in a couple weeks. I've been out of town, and these boys underneath me, Josh and JC, have been doing a whole bunch of extra work. And Josh has been, I don't know, he's lost. He really is. I mean, that's what happens when you give Generation X some time to away from things. They forget how to do things. So, but what's going on, guys? How's everything going with you guys? Josh, you want to tell us your problems of how to get connected or what?
Well, I don't know. When you got like a 45-year-old guy that's sending you the wrong fucking links for the first 15 minutes.
I sent you all the same links.
Bro, I got documented proof that they weren't working.
I got documented proof on the emails. All the links clicked.
Dude, I
clicked on all of them except for one.
Sent it to you, bro. I don't know.
For the last year and a half, Josh has been riding the wave of the free 7-day AOL trial.
I got 37 emails, bro.
Oh, he's been riding that wave for years.
The scary thing is there's a lot of viewers here that probably don't even know what I'm talking about.
Oh, a lot of people don't realize that. Somebody had said the other day that, if you really think about it, we're older than Google, really. If you really think about it, we're older than Google. And that's just kind of odd that you ever think about that. Like, our kids have grown up. My kids have grown up with Google. So it's like even Josh's kids have grown up with Google. And it's like they don't know what it was like before Google. Think of AOL that we had back then. There, you had to sit there for 20 minutes for it to log on just to get into the internet.
I remember I sound old as fuck saying this, but having to use a thesaurus on like school reports. Now it's like you can say, hey, AI, chat GPT, write me a fucking paper on fucking evolution.
I know it's odd. Like it's something that you never think about, and then like you start thinking about it and you're like, it's like, look at, like you said, we used to have to, look at a book to get the answers or, look up in a dictionary. I remember all the freaking dictionaries my parents had, and you're like, okay, why is all these dictionaries? We got to go buy a dictionary every day at the grocery store, just to look up a word. But now it's just like, oh, I'll just pull my phone out and look it up,
So with modern technology, I'd be the smartest kid in my school right now.
You probably would be. You probably would have graduated with all A's.
Going to the library and having to look through the card catalog.
Oh, yeah. That was the hardest part, I think, trying to pull it all up and like, oh, this is at this one at A6149. Look it up here. And then, then you go all the way over there after 20 minutes of looking it up in the card catalog just to find it's not there. Somebody took that book. How am I going to do my report now?
Oh. I mean, in essence, it's almost the same thing, right? Like you use that chat AI, whatever it's called, and whenever you did a project in school, when you had to look up a book, you pretty much copied what the book said. I mean, I did.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's real weird. But what's been really going on? I mean, I've been gone for 3 weeks now, almost. This is the third week, so I'd like to know what's going on. What's new with you guys? Anybody?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been busy, but it's rain. I always talk about the weather here. It's been raining now. Perfect day to sleep in and beat a little spoon. But no, I've been. I love Harbor Freight. I've been on a Harbor Freight kick recently, and I went in yesterday to grab a few things. They have a pretty big sale. I'm not promoting it by any means, but I just love going to that store. I picked up a polisher, some microfiber towels, and some gloves, things that we all need for working on our equipment, doing oil changes and stuff like that. I was kind of low on supplies. So I took advantage of that and it was kind of like doing some things, polishing, detailing my car, and just keeping busy.
Oh, yeah. So you're detailing your car. That's got to be really interesting.
Yeah. My everyday driver. I just neglected it, but it's funny because it's like even though I'm busy, I'm doing things that I needed to do for myself. So it's kind of like rewarding at the same time because I'm actually setting time aside to do things that I need to do for myself.
Nice. You got to do that once in a while. I mean, Josh does it every Sunday morning. He spoons for 6 hours, but it's all right.
I sent my wife the screenshot. I was like, "Thanks a lot, fucking thanks."
We're finally here, man. That's all that matters. We're finally
yeah. You finally got on. It's fine. We'll let you slide this week. At least you don't have no audio problems like you usually do. So I mean, we're good.
Yeah, so that's how you know it's not on me. It's on you.
Yeah. So what's going on with you, Josh? I mean, it's been a couple weeks.
It's been nonstop working, man. I think yesterday was the first time that I've done anything like for myself. Like my family and I, we went up to Salem, Mass, and walked around at like a picnic and stuff up there. If you can't tell, I'm a little congested. I had a massive allergy attack midday, but
wow.
It's been it's been nonstop because it's crazy, dude. It's August 18th already. Like the summer's essentially gone. We have like a week left this summer. You know, unofficial into the summer's Labor Day. You know, it's around the corner. Kids are going. Like my youngest goes back like the 27th, I think. You know, and I got my oldest going to college right after that. So it's been a push. I think that's the title of this, right? Next push. So it's been a massive push to try to get as much done before the end of our season, our landscape season, because it was such a slow start to the beginning of this year that, like, you know, June 1st was like go for us out the gate. And now it's trying to get everything done. And we're trying to take some time off, a bunch of us, that last week of August to, you know, do back to school stuff with the kids. So,
do you think the year balanced out, even though it was like a slow start? Was it?
Nah, that slow of a start would never balance out. I think we'll definitely be under our numbers this year. There's no doubt in my mind. Even with like a good job, it was so small, and there were so many little hiccups and costs involved that. I wouldn't balance out. It's next year. You know, we've already re-signed a lot of the clients we have from this year to next year, and you know, one of those being like the library contract. You know, was a mess when we started, but we got that all caught up, and there's a lot of extra work there. Ton. It's working out great. But as far as like the spring cleanups were a mess from the end of last year. That going into next year, that's when it will probably balance out when we. You know, the 7 hours, 6 hours of spending each property will get knocked out to probably like an hour or two next spring.
Yeah, I noticed you put more posts on Instagram of some of the stuff that you've been working on lately, which is
trying. Yeah. I'm not at all the sites, so I'm trying to ask like, you know, the other guys when they're there to try to take before and afters, but they're just like me. You know, you get there and you want to just get into it. You know, you want to get there. You know, like when you're driving into the city like that, you know, you got to leave early to get there. You got to leave a little early to get out. So you want to just get out of the truck and get right to it.
Yeah, I think we're all in that big push right now. And the next push of the year is, you know, I mean, we kind of we've been busy all year, taking a week off. It was kind of good to be able to get off before the kids went back to school. And then now it's already a push already back because it's like we kind of slowed down for a little bit, but we're already back to the grind. I mean, I already sold a couple big jobs already, and it's like you said, it's trying to get the stuff done before the end of the season. You know, you don't want to have it sitting on the books and be like, oh, I didn't get to this. You know, so it's I think, and then trying to be able to push into the next season. That's always the fun part of trying to push towards snow and leaf cleanups and. How you move into the next year, you know?
That's my toughies because, like now, for instance, like for me, we're predominantly, we're all commercial,
right?
Snowplow. So like since like July 15th, we've been in snow mode where it's like trying to get RFPs out, trying to get people to talk to us on what type of structured contract they're looking for. A lot of stuff's coming in now, but it's getting the workload done we have, like you said, preparing for fall. Still trying to sell some work to finish off the year, but also balance budget and finish the admin point of the snow before it gets here, because second week of September we're taking all the sanders out and starting to work and lubricate the sanders and everything and hook them up the trucks and make sure they're good. So
Right.
this is a crazy ass time of year. It's funny, I'm talking to one of the building facilities managers we work with, and this is the first year with the contract, and I'm explaining to him like how the schedule works this time of year. He goes, so you guys really don't have downtime. I thought landscapers had from like, October to April. And I said, I don't really know anybody in the industry that has that time of downtime. I'm like, we might get like December if we're
Right.
lucky. So
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's hard. I mean, yeah, I feel like we don't get that much of a downtime. Literally for us, it's our downtime. We usually get like maybe a week if we get that before we switch over. But then we're working on other stuff like getting equipment ready for the winter, and it's just hard. I mean, I think it's one of them things where you don't get really a break sometimes, especially if you get a good winter. You're nonstop going at it. So, JC, what's your next big push? What are you pushing for? I know you're pushing for something.
pushing for that dirt.
Definitely not that. I don't know, man. I'm not sure if I'm pushing towards something, but I like Josh was saying, man. This summer sucked. Like it went by so fast, and I'm trying to hold on to some of the last days that are available for it, because I don't like the winter. If you look at it from a personal perspective as opposed to a business perspective, obviously you like it for the business end, but when it comes to like just the season change and stuff like that, I'm never ready for it.
Right.
Usually like the spring and summertime, when I'm not working on stuff, it's usually like anybody else, you try to take advantage of the time to do things for yourself, but it's just life in general is busy. Now you add the element of work and business and everything else on top of that, man. It's just so fast paced. It's true what they say, when you get older to a certain point, that time just flies, and like you wake up one morning, you realize you're 42 years old, and it's just like, how the hell did I get here?
Right. Yeah, it's one of those things. It does fly. I mean, I think every year flies, especially with us, within our being in the green industry. I mean, a lot of people, it flies and you don't realize what's going on. And I think it's one of those things where you got to sometimes slow down and work on yourself or your family or
society is half to blame for that too, man. Because look at it, look how everything is, especially when it comes to the retail market, right? You got like Home Depot setting up Christmas decorations in the middle of freaking July, August.
Yeah.
You got Halloween, you got back to school. Like all those things are like, obviously because it pushes the marketing aspect and the retail aspect of it, but it's just like we've conformed to live in that type of mindset of lifestyle, just because, like, oh, we got to hurry up and get it because it's already this time of season to think about, and some of that is unnecessary, but like on the business end, yeah, it's totally necessary. You definitely have to plan ahead like that when it comes to a business perspective, and making sure, like, you're talking about making sure your equipment is working so that you don't get to that point and realize your shit isn't working.
Right.
Have to kind of scramble and lose time, and time obviously equals money. So if you're spending time on stupid stuff that you could have prevented, then you're losing out in the long run. But I know I just kind of went on a little rant there when it comes to things. But yeah, man, it's just everything's fast paced, man.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with you. I really do. I mean, I think it's how society is. Like you said, I actually laughed at that because you said, Halloween stuff coming out and Christmas stuff coming out. Literally, Halloween stuff's been out since just literally the day after 4th of July around us. I had some of the big box stores, and, I actually drove down the street the other day because I haven't been going that way and been gone for a week. Literally, one of the neighbors actually put up a 20-foot Halloween decoration, literally, and it's not even but 2.5 months away, and it's like, you're going to leave that up for 2.5 months? Like, wow, like that's huge, like what? Like, what? I I can see closer, like a month ahead or a month and a half, maybe, but 2.5 months. That's just.
I wonder if anybody does that for business. Like, you know how everybody, or not everybody, you know how some companies they'll do Christmas holiday lights and stuff like that. Like, why not do Halloween? Why not do? Because Halloween's a big one, especially people really get into that stuff with like the robotics and things. Like, I have a friend of mine who he decks out his house like it's like a haunted house. It's crazy. It's like spooky world. Josh knows what that is. But the thing is, like, he does it a week before, then he breaks it down that night. Like after Halloween night, like he breaks it down. It's a lot of work. I've helped him out do it a few times, but that'd be a good business.
Yes, that would be a good business. Yeah, Josh, don't jump on it, please.
Or you buy the stuff, right? You buy the decor and you rent out the decor.
That would actually work out. I think if you could rent it, and even if you set it up, I think the thing is if you did it, the takedown, like you said, most people take it all down that night. I think it would take, just like Christmas lights, it takes months to put up Christmas lights, but listening to a lot of these companies that do it's literally 2 weeks they take it down. They push to get it down as fast as possible because of, snow, or they want it back and, store it. So, I mean, that could work out. It might take a little bit longer to take down.
Idea if you do it right. I mean, if you buy all the stuff like a couple weeks after Halloween for the next season, and then you set up packages like, hey, we'll decorate your house. Here's a picture of what it could look like. This is what we have available. Name a price, and that way people don't have to store their own decorations. They don't have,
yeah, sounds good. We'll start with Josh's house first.
Yeah.
I did up my house a little the first year, nothing crazy, but we definitely did like a front yard theme.
I'm gonna go to his house for Halloween.
Heck yeah, that'd be awesome.
He says that he never shows up though.
I know.
I run by.
Yeah,
runs by and peeks in the window. That's all.
Yeah, nobody's coming by my house, so it's all right.
That's why I know you're Little Spoon, because I peek in the window.
So, I mean, we talked about Harbor Freight a little bit a while ago, and I know, JC, you kind of said about the engines. Like, I would like to know, and even JC would like to know, if anybody's taken some of those engines and like put them on like a zero turn or like a walk behind mower, and how have they done? Because I kind of, they are a little bit cheaper on the end, but the price range is pretty good, and they do just as much as like a regular engine. So I'd like to know the difference on what that is and how it does. Josh, you got a mower that we can use?
Yeah, actually I do.
Let's get a Harbor Freight engine and put it on it. I want to see how it works.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, I've used their engines on their own pieces of, an air compressor that they had sold, and it worked really good.
I don't think their engines would last long on a mower, not a commercial mower. I think they're more like, so I've seen guys up here that will do it on like leaf vacuums and salters, because they're not constantly used throughout the year. Like, you're putting what? Like, even on a heavy account, you might be putting like 50 hours of use on a sander. I mean, you're going into a building complex or a commercial campus, maybe you got it running for a half an hour, each time. Right. So I'd say like 50 to 80 hours a season. Whereas a mower, you got some guys that could put 700 hours on a mower in a season, easy.
Oh yeah,
that would be more than that. Experiment, like if somebody on YouTube did that for a whole season, like and test it out. Like, I don't think anybody's ever really done that on YouTube before, to get a long-term, realistic, everyday commercial use of a Predator engine from Harbor Freight. Like, I'm curious. Yeah.
Paul Jameson probably did it. You got to ask him.
Yeah, but it probably sat in his garage for months.
Okay.
So who knows? You never know with him. I mean, I don't know. Like, is he even mowing grass anymore? That's what I'd like to know.
Mowing grass or eating that ass? One or the other.
I thought it was more like mowing grass and making cash.
Yeah, something like that. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, if you got one of those mowers, I'd like to know. I mean, I think, it's one of those things. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen, but on Instagram, there's a company called Razor Mowers. They're newer this year. They're cheaper. They're up by you guys. Actually, they're in Connecticut. and they're selling them for half the price of a regular zero turn. And,
those green ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen those. I've seen those pop up. Yeah, they're like, it's like $4,000 for like a 48-inch and like $3,000 for a 36-inch.
Right.
Standoffs.
I know they're using cheaper motors on those things too. So, but you can upgrade for another motor. I think I talked to the one guy and he said that I could upgrade it to a Kohler for $500 more, but the engine is comparable to a Kohler. So.
Yeah, I looked at those when we knew we were getting back into maintenance, but kind of walked away because they didn't have a large footprint with like reviews or anything. So I kind of walked away. But I mean, I guess for the price point, if they can last a year, and you obviously you're making the revenue if you're cutting grass like that.
Right, but when you buy commercial, they're saying they're kind of more commercial-ish, so you're gonna kind of want it to last at least 2 years. Correct.
Well, that's the problem. Kind of not commercial isn't really full commercial. Like you could get away with like a prosumer Gravely or Walker and probably get the longevity out of it for, a couple thousand more. Right. Business aspect is like you're going to drop $4,000 on that. Most people are going to go after it because of the price point. They may not be able to finance a Walker or a Wright or a Gravely. So they go in and throw the cash down. Now you throw your $4 or $5,000 cash down. That mower blows. Now you're back on marketplace grabbing a $500 walk behind. Right. So why not? This is where finance comes in. Take that $5,000, throw it down at a $10,000 mower, whatever, and finance the rest.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think it would be, for me, it might be good for a backup, just to have as a backup, where you got that kind of peace of mind that you have as a backup. But it's not something that I would buy that I would use on a constant basis. I think that's one of the downfalls on that, especially, like you said, there's no really reviews there. It's, I don't know.
That could be good for like facility managers that do like in-house stuff. That maybe they're cutting their own lawns, and if you got a short budget, or if you're paid off like bottom line dollars, that'd be a way rather than buying. Like I just saw a 2-year-old Walker with like 10 hours on our marketplace for $20,000 yesterday. Wow. So rather than spending $20,000, you spend a fraction of that, and you, if it lasts 2 years, that's not bad. $2,000 a year for a semi-commercial mower.
Yeah, I mean that would actually work good, if, like you said, for somebody that's just in the house. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Who knows? A lot of people on Instagram. Thank you guys for joining us. Pablo's on there. Pablo, if you haven't followed Pablo, me and Pablo had spent some time together when I was in Orlando last week, and we had some real good time. So there's a lot of good things out there. If you ain't, I think this community is getting bigger and bigger, and I think a lot of people are looking away from certain people and looking at some of these other people, and I think that's the good thing about this community, and I think that's what we need to do. So, so Josh, we're pushing into the next push, and are you kind of starting now that you already kind of been pushing for snow in July? Are you pushing for the spring already?
Nope, still in snow mode. I have a lot to do. So my goal is to try to have the majority of my contracts done second week of August, which I have most of them in, but I have a few that I need to get guarantees on, so that I can pick and choose the small ones I want. Spring will probably come around December, January. I'll start marketing. So we sat down and we had a quick meeting a couple weeks ago about what direction we wanted to go. Obviously, we were like 99% construction prior years. This has been a year that it's funny. I think I was preaching this beginning of the year where things are slow. Things seem to be coming down. The construction side doesn't seem to be there. And I'm on all pages of different trades throughout Facebook groups. And now they're all singing the same song when things have slowed down. And that's not every company. You have companies that have had workloads booked out for a year, or they just have their reputation. They've been around for a while. So we decided, we are going to try to factor in commercial maintenance, the package where we'll do the mow if we get you snow type thing. So now it's adding that in, and we'll probably, there's a lot of ideas spinning in my head for next year of the directions we go as far as like outfitting trailers. Like we're doing a lot of city work between like Worcester, Lowell, Boston, Lawrence. So I want to try to shrink our footprint when we're in there. So like I'm looking at those ramp rack systems, small ones.
Those are cool, yeah.
Yeah. So like, I mean, one, you cut the cost of insurance, the wear and tear on the trailer, that's the excise tax we have to pay every year on those trailers, the extra parking spaces. So we're looking into the ramp racks and maybe like the
cargo trucks, like the super trucks.
We were gonna use pickup trucks because we plow with the pickup trucks. So those I looked at the like the Suzuki trucks, and I don't think they're practical for guys that haven't worked in the city that often to drive through. You know, when you get into like some of the main arteries of the city, it's hard to navigate the truck and the trailer or box truck.
Have you ever thought of the those low U-Haul trucks that has the box in it, and you could obviously load up a mower if you needed to?
Yeah. I just think the pickup is a peace of mind for someone that's not as experienced driving something like that. Because like there's certain guys that have hands and have knowledge of like, okay, you know, turn ratio on a truck, or used to drive a truck. To us, we drive trucks, we drive equipment, we drive heavy equipment, so it comes first nature to us. Someone that hasn't done this for a long time, you know, they might be great on a mower, take direction great, but that anxiety kicks in where all of a sudden now you go down like some city street and it's like cars are parked offset. Like we have no problem with it, but we have to, the crew that's out there doing mowing right now, that can't be the crew that's on there forever. You know, so now I'm going to have to utilize a new crew or a couple crews to do that next year. And I'm trying to make it as simple as possible where maybe we can fit a 48 and a 36 or a 48 and a 21 with a couple backpack blowers and weed whackers.
I love the setup of the ramp rack.
I do too. I don't think I'm going to do the extension. I think I'm going to do trial and error. I think it's like $1,000 cheaper to do the one that literally like abuts where the tailgate is, because they do have the ones that come out like an extra 24 inches or so. That give you I think you can fit like 248s in there or something. But we're going to start with probably the smaller ones on one truck just to see how it works through next year or the beginning of next year, and then kind of update from there.
So have you done a lot of research on it? Like, where do you get one up here? Like, I wouldn't even.
There's a few dealers. There's some online dealers you can go to. There's a truck dealer that does a lot of that shit in like it's down by like Avon. I can't remember the name of the company off the top of my head. Yeah. But bit by bit, it's kind of just been playing and throwing it into a rough budget. And then when December comes around, we'll really go through it. Because like right now, my mind is like $6,000 pushers and loaders, mini loaders, skid steers. And this is what's killing me right now is like when we send out these RFPs. And this is what I usually like. I have friends that are on the property management side that actually do like the inside stuff. The reason why companies send these RFPs out in June is because we like to have the answers back by August so we can budget. So we know if we have your property for 2 or 3 years for a few $100,000, you know, what type of equipment can we allocate to that property? What budget do we have for salting, for snow equipment, for salary? It's easier. I've had companies that'll wait till December, like the day before Christmas Eve, sending me a contract. And I'm like, I'm already gassed out with the amount of help I have. You know, I have 2 property management companies. One sent me a massive, like 56-acre property to quote. I can't do it. I don't have the resources for it.
Right.
I can't. I want to. And part of me was gonna, you know, back out of one of my other contracts and go to this, but I have to. I got to do what I got to do. Yeah. Right. So that sucks. Right. But no. So for right now, spring will probably come in motion. I have the wheels are turning in my head as we go, and I see things that aren't efficient that we're doing. It's a different scale of maintenance that we've done in the past. You know, so efficiencies, you know, making life easier for everybody. We do have a site that we're contracted for maintenance and snow that's right outside Boston and Somerville and Cambridge that we could use as a hub where they could keep mowers and tractors in a container we're going to put there. So it might cut out guys having to go up to Andover where we're based out of, especially if they live close to the city. They can just run out of a hub station, a satellite station in Somerville and Cambridge, and the same with, you know, our North Shore properties. So I'm trying to figure out how we can do that.
I said that's huge because you've been looking for a lot, like a place for a while. kind of
Yeah, and I still am. I'm looking for like a plain piece of land that I can treat as a hub, and then that same idea is like, little satellite locations where you can keep a truck with the shipping container, and put the snow raiders and the snow blowers to the back in the winter, and put mowers and blowers up front, and they can work out of that area.
Yeah.
Hey, you got? I know we're talking about like wintertime snow. Do you have any? Are you doing any leaf cleanups this year?
Yeah, so with what we have right now, we'll have a lot. The residential market. So what bit me in the ass is I'm still not a huge fan of mowing. I don't think the margins are there for that exact service. What comes with it is sometimes there. Like obviously we do it now and we get all the extras. But on the residential side, I was never a big fan. But the cleanups, the spring cleanups and the fall cleanups, were always used with our residential mowing. That was the one that sucked when we got rid of residential mowing. I lost essentially all my fall cleanup, so I lost a big bulk of revenue. But this year, with all the commercial stuff that we have, and we have a lot we'll have to do, and that's I'm debating if I want to get a leaf vacuum or just hire a guy to come suck them up for me, and save that cash towards something else. But it's something we'll go into next year, and we're gonna push the cleanups on the resi side and more commercial side probably next fall too. This year we have a lot of snow we have to get ready for, and we're covering. I mean, when I tell you, if you look at a map and you see city of Boston, city of Lowell, and then the North Shore, city of PV and Saugus, that's our coverage area for snow. So this is the widest area I've ever covered as a business owner. So I'm putting a particular focus on that right now, just because that leaves me open for a lot of error, not a lot of room for error. And I need to be able to be mobile. Although I did look at WeatherWorks yesterday, and like two of those locations last year averaged about 13 inches of snow. So we'll see.
That's awesome.
I think it's going to be a hard winter this year.
Hard for bad or just?
No, like we're going to get a lot of snow.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's been a couple of years, so I think this is going to be a heavier snow year.
The oddest thing about this year in Massachusetts, as far as I know, is this feels like the first year that we've actually been getting our seasons on time. The first time since I was young that I can remember. Like we had a spring, we had winter in the months it was supposed to last. We actually had a full spring. It wasn't a week or two of like nice, beautiful weather and then like 90s. We had our summer, and it seems like summer's starting to fizzle down because yesterday wasn't horrible. Tuesday is supposedly going to be like in the upper 50s during the afternoon. And, gloomy and rainy today. So I feel like if we have the actual fall from like, that mid-September to, early November, there's a good chance that we could get hit this year.
That'd be good. So I got a question for you. Now, you even if you do residential, do you have to haul away leaves in your area? Or can you put them out to the street at residentials? And does the city pick up leaves?
No, not in the service area. Where we live, they do. So like my house, I can blow them out to the street. That's awesome.
Right.
They'll vac them up once a week. But in the areas where I service, no, you either have to blow them into a wood line. So like in that Merrimack Valley area,
okay,
there's a lot of wooded areas, a lot of conservation area. We can blow them back. Some of the more urban areas we have to suck them up. Some people don't want them in their woods and they want to blow them. And we used to have a leaf vac. The leaf vac to me, if you're doing more than $10,000 in cleanups, it's fucking invest in it. It's worth it. Even a used one. I bought a used one. I bought a Lesco leaf vac, and holy shit, what was taking me an hour and a half, 2 hours to rake up leaves was taking me 10 minutes to suck up wet leaves. And charging the same price, so it was awesome. But yeah, no, we'll where we are now, where we have to do the residential ones, they all have to be sucked up.
Okay. I was just wondering because I know like our area, pretty much all the cities, you can put them out to the street in the fall. So a lot of times we're trying to do as many cleanups as we can to get them out, as many out, so that way when we come back in the spring, it's you're there 15, 20 minutes and out, instead of spending 3-4 hours every time.
That's crunch time because you have to gauge that off a schedule of when they're going to come and clean up the leaves.
Yeah, and the good thing about it is like there's 4 cities that we service. So the one service city area, they do it like on a three week basis. So they go around each zone pretty much of that city in 3 weeks. So they give you like 3 weeks to pretty much clean it up. Another one actually separates it by streets, and says like, okay, this streets we're doing this week. Then next week we're going through this street, and then we'll just keep moving on. And then there's another one that actually goes by zip codes. Our other city, they kind of go by the zip codes. So they'll go through the zip codes, but they only go through twice. So literally, and they always, once they come around the second time, they're always slower. So it gives you more time to get more stuff out. But then the problem is you get them blown out ahead of the schedule to kind of make sure that they're going to get them cleaned up, and then the wind blows them back because they're then behind. So then you're going back out there and saying, oh, I got to get out there before them, and you're always kind of driving by. I know that's the problem with us is we'll fly through them real quick, and then we'll drive by and say, hey, we need to get this cleaned up because it blew all the leaves back. Or, the customer will call us and be like, yeah, I know you did 2 cleanups on us, but can we get a third one? Because it's, the stuff's blown back, and who knows if we're going to have snow, come Thanksgiving, and we want to make sure it looks good for all our guests, so it's one of those things that you're trying to hurry up and get as much out. And like you said, it's go time once it comes into it. And it's a rush sometimes when especially if we're on a street and they're down the street, you're like, crap, I need to hurry up and get these out to the street as much as possible because I don't want them sitting there, because once they come by that house, they're not coming back. They're, they're going to finish the rest of that zone. So, yeah.
Scott.
But, I mean, yeah.
No. I was going to flip the switch and flip
it.
Topic. All right. So it's been a while since we've been all three together on this podcast, and it's good to be back for sure. The Olympics have been going on, right? Anybody watched them?
No.
All right.
I didn't watch hardly anything. I seen some, things that happened afterwards, but I didn't sit down and watch all of it.
All right. So,
okay,
if you were good at something, or if there was an Olympic sport or something that you're good at, what would you win? What would it be that you win a gold medal in? It could be anything. It doesn't have to be a sport. It could be just something like
anything.
You're like the king of procrastination, so you win a gold medal in that or something. You know what I mean?
Little spooning.
Yeah,
little spooning. Gold medal and little spooning. Yeah.
I would say, yeah. I don't know. Mine is more of last minute like designs and stuff, and last minute estimating.
Procrastination.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get a design, and I'll to do a design, and I'll say, okay, I'll have it for you next Thursday, and then I'll do it Wednesday night, the night before, real quick, and it'll come out awesome. Instead of taking that time and actually, saying, okay, I got a week, I can do this in a week. I'll wait till the last minute, and I'll be up all night trying to make sure I get that design right, and it comes out awesome. So, yeah, so kind of procrastinating on getting that estimate or that job bid in. So what about you, JC?
I would win a gold medal in trying to save money and do things myself, but end up spending more money than if I were to have somebody do it.
Okay, that's a good one.
Like I'd break something, and then it just end up costing me more in the long run trying to do it to save money in the first place, right. And it just basically defeat the purpose.
I think there's certain things though that I think nowadays, and even with YouTube and stuff, you feel like you can do it, and a lot of times you can. But usually that first time you're always like, oh, well, what, am I doing it right or not? Good point and thing is, I know how to change a lot of stuff on trucks and stuff like alternators, starters, all that kind of stuff. So literally earlier this spring, my starter went out on one of my trucks, and we had it parked at one of our customers' house, and we had a plow on it. We had it parked angled wise because literally they weren't home for the week. And they actually happened to pop in and, was like, hey, we're here. The starter went out. So the guy was like, okay, we'll go, go get the starter. I'll take you up, get your starter, So I went, grabbed the starter. Let's go put it on. I couldn't do it. There was literally a bolt that I couldn't get to. There was no way to get my hand in there, nothing. And literally usually starters are easy to do for me, and it's like I literally ended up having to pay a tow truck towed away to the dealer, have them change it, and then change it. Even though I had the part right there, I had the brand new starter. I'm like, okay, I got this brand new starter. It's half off. I just can't get that one bolt. And I think sometimes you look at YouTube, we look at how things are done, and if you are a little bit of mechanically inclined, you're like, I can do this. Why can't I do this? It's doing this, it's doing that, and then you get going on it and you're like, shit, like you said, I got to pay somebody to do this now. Like, crap. Now you feel bad that you started it, but then when it's all completed, you're like, wow, that's looking good. Maybe I should have just started that way, the right way,
And YouTube's deceiving because like every video looks like, oh my God, it's so easy. But like we forget that people edit videos, and it probably took them 3 hours to get the stupid bolt out that they showed you they could do it in 2 seconds.
Right. Yeah, you watch a video that's 10 minutes and they change the part in 10 minutes, and you're like out there and you're like 40 minutes in, you're like, God damn it, what do you mean he did it in 10 minutes? There's no way he did it in 10 minutes.
What about you, Josh? What would you win a gold medal in?
My spooning abilities.
You got more than spooning abilities. Come on.
I don't know, man. What would I win a gold medal in?
I know a gold medal in not being able to log on to the podcast.
Yeah.
Listen. I've never had an issue logging on. I've had issues with audio. Today, Scott is the
I sent you 14 links.
And none of them worked.
The last one worked, and I've tried them all.
You know what?
You know what's funny? I think you sent me the original because my name was stuck in it. I had to dude, you had me logging on, creating accounts and shit, fucking sending me some shit where it's saying the creator enabled this link, blah blah blah. So your fucking software ratted Joe.
Let me play devil's advocate and side with Josh on this one. Maybe this is freaking Scott fucking with Josh, like purposely,
Scott,
yeah, but you got on. I sent you the same link. You got on first.
Yeah, but you weren't fucking with me. You were fucking with Josh.
Maybe I was.
I don't know. I think he hit a button where maybe it was like, oh, you gotta add another fucking accessor or something, and fucking. Oh, I only had 2. Oops. I don't know. Gold medal. I don't know. I'm pretty lazy. I don't know. Maybe you like being lazy. Like, when I don't have.
But you're not. You're always working.
Because I have to. If I didn't have to, bro, if money wasn't an issue, dude, I would do shit, dude. I would have someone clean up my house, cooking my dinner, doing my laundry, walking my dog. I would sit on my couch. I'd
do all that stuff, man. That's awesome.
Would you live in Massachusetts if money wasn't an issue?
Ooh,
live in Massachusetts if money wasn't an issue. If money, yeah, why? I don't know about that. Actually, probably not. No, probably not. I love it up here, but dude, I love to live somewhere warm where it's nice, and I'm not talking like Florida,
right.
But no, probably not. No, I know a lot of people not going on board here. Yeah, I fucking die here. I'm like, nah, dude, I've been here my whole life. I'm all set. I'm good. I'd probably go. I don't know. Like I said, warm. Maybe somewhere South America. Fucking.
Oh, he's going international. I thought he was talking the States.
Nah, dude, I'm the fuck out of here.
Interesting. Very interesting. Why would you choose South America? Just because of the warmth, or?
Yeah, the warmth. I don't know. I
money goes farther.
I could be wrong. I've never been there, but I feel like certain areas are slower paced. I feel like no matter where you go here, it's all hustle and grind culture, man. And I fell victim to that, and I think that's why JC was saying, you hit 40, that's where I'm right now. I'm about to hit 40 in a few months, and it's kind of what the fuck? Where your time going? I feel like that's where a lot of people realize it's you go through those 30s, we're I'm not where I want to be. I'm not where I want to be. I'm here and here and here. And I think that's what happened when I started landscape, where I made the salary at a W-2 job, and when I went starting this landscape company that wasn't supposed to be anything, mowing lawns and doing cleanups, I was making my fucking paycheck in 2 days, thinking, wow, if I fucking grind my ass off, I could make fucking a month's worth of pay in a week. And it works like that for some months and some weeks, and then you grind your ass off, and then it's just constant go, and then you don't realize oh shit, like I must have hurt my arm because I must have been working too hard. No, it's you've been working your fucking arm too hard for 20 years. It's finally catching up with you. So it's like, I think we definitely, a lot of us have fallen victim to that hustle and grind culture, which there isn't a problem with that, but when it's constant, it's like life passes you by, opportunities pass you by, and I feel like in some other countries, man, it's like I know, like, dude, this is a great country. This fucking all opportunity here, right? We all have opportunities to start businesses and be whatever we want to be, and that's no bullshit. And other countries don't have that, but I feel like maybe like other countries are just like kind of slow down and smell the roses. Like they appreciate what they have. They don't have, this technology and shit in front of their faces every day where they have to figure things out. And it's like, go slow and figure it out and enjoy it. And I could be wrong, but I don't know. I like to get out of the friggin' hyper speed culture.
Right.
Dude, I did this. It kind of relates to that. What you're saying. I did this paper in college. It was based off of a previous study, and it was based on how technology creates more work for us. So it was theory was behind the invention of the washing machine. Before you'd take your clothes, you'd wash it down the river, whatever. But because that was such a task, you would preserve your clothing a little more, and it would, you'd wash it less or only when you had to. Now with the invention of the washing machine, I could just throw it in the wash. So you create more dirty laundry, which creates more laundry that you have to do. And then, so it's like, because it's so easy to wash in the washing machine, it's creating more work because you're just throwing more laundry into it and building more laundry. Right. It's like, so it's kind of like that, like what you're saying about other countries where they work with what they have and they appreciate what they have. And, even on the business end of things with new technology, right? Invoices, systems. Now we can create more customers. Now we can get more clients. And now you're building more work on top of things where you have that technology. You'd be only managing what you're able to manage at that time.
Correct.
Like, dude, like think of like when I sit there, right, and I say, I pay someone to do everything for me, right? Think of it like this: like you could become a fat fucking slob, and now take Ozempic for fucking 12 months, and put no effort into it, and like you just said in your paper, like you preserve your clothes a little bit longer, and you're a little bit cautious of the choices you make because you don't want to get them dirty. Now it's like people don't give a fuck if they go out and stuff their face to do this because it's like, I got a pill for that. I'm not thinking like long-term effects, but like same thing, like where it's like, all right, kids, you can get your clothes dirty. Don't worry about it. I'll wash it. Now your water bill's higher. So you're working a little harder because your water bill's higher. But now you couldn't pay this bill because your water bill is $500 more this month, blah, 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 blah. So there's like a domino effect for it. So I think like me saying like move out of the country international, or like I've never been to Italy, but I've had friends that have gone there. You can say like Italy has hours during the day where they shut the fuck down. Everybody goes home from work. They take their naps and then they go back after they rejuvenate. I just feel like a slower paced society is what we need. And it's just like, I mean, a lot of it's just distraction at the end of the day, what you fall into. And it's like, I just look at like, wow, 40, like I still grasp 40. It's like, I'm there because younger, like that was like, holy shit, you're old. You're fucking 40. Now I'm like, damn, like these aches and pains I'm getting aren't just from like, swinging a pickaxe the wrong way. It's because I'm fucking old and out of shape.
Wait till you get to 50, dude.
Listen, that to me is like, oh no, oh no.
Well, maybe we should institute. They're trying to institute 10-hour days. Maybe we should just institute like where you take an hour nap every day.
So I actually had a meeting, a chat with my foreman, and I said I think after the September rush and going into next year, I told him, I said I think I'm gonna do 10-hour shifts during the week to help with the labor and the yard work. Right. 10-hour day shifts, and then Fridays are like my half office day, and then I'm off. Right. So I can try to enjoy myself because I did good for a while because I always preached, work-life culture, work-life balance. This year was a little excessive because of the major pivot we had made from being exclusively like hardscape and construction to back to partially maintenance. So it was a big pivot because some of the guys that work with us have never done maintenance. So it's like, and we weren't fully equipped for it. Our trucks and trailers weren't outfitted for it. So it was kind of a twist and turn of getting things back into motion.
Right.
So I definitely have been considering doing like the 10 to 12, 14-hour shifts, Monday through Thursday,
Right.
and then taking my Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right. Would you do that for all your crew?
No.
No.
They don't.
Especially if they're
Some of
eight.
the guys don't like that. They'd prefer, their 8 hours and then take their break and then go into it, which I understand.
Right.
You
I
know,
feel like it depends on the company. I mean, a lot of these companies are pushing for that 10-hour days, and I feel like you said, there's certain people that don't want to work the 10 hours. They don't,
Well, that's a lot on some people.
Yeah.
Like for me, for instance, I'm working a 10-hour day and I got a 2-hour commute back and forth, like an hour there, hour back,
right.
from where my company's based out of. So that's like on a 10-hour day, 12-hour day. That's still a 14-hour day.
Right.
And so it kills. So, but there are guys that work 45 minutes from where they live,
Right.
where they live. And it's that 10-hour day adds up. Now they're gone, so they like that 8-hour day that they have, and they go in. I would do 10-hour splits if I could do maybe one crew does Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and the other one does like Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because you always need to have someone on throughout the week,
Right.
for emergencies, like a tree falls or something.
Right.
With the commercial properties. But yeah, I could institute it. I haven't gotten that far with it. I'm thinking more of myself because I put in more hours than anybody,
Right.
and this year's been rough.
Well, I bet. I mean, you've been working probably 70, 80 hours this year, so
There's been weeks it's been on the high end of that. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, it adds up, especially as a business owner. I mean, we do a lot of stuff. So
I think last Sunday was I fucking slept in. Like I woke up at 5 and I was like, I went back to bed till probably 10, and man, I needed that. Holy crap, I needed that.
That's awesome. Well, guys, we touched on a lot of stuff today about Josh spooning and not knowing how to turn on the computer and get it on, but we've gone past that. But yeah, we've talked a lot about stuff. I think we touched on a lot of things. There's a couple of questions out there. If you've used, Harbor Freight engines and switched them over to your mower, I'd like to know more about it. We'd like to see it and know everything. There's a lot of different things that we talk about, and I want to thank everybody for coming on here. Just, check it all out. I mean, check us out on Instagram, everywhere that you can think of, because, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we talk about every week. And I think there's a lot of good points. I want to thank Cujo for sponsoring us. And come back next week. We'll be back next week. I also have another podcast. We'll have one this week with Chris from Beater Mower on Thursday. So if you guys want to join, come back and let us know what you guys have question wise. So we're always here for questions, comments, anything. Josh will try to answer everything. He can't even get on the podcast sometimes.
I'm gonna make a pitch real quick for next week. Let's talk about snow equipment and working for larger companies like nationals, regionals, and locals. That's
right.
I got another idea too to add to that. I say we do a special edition throwback to the WeScape podcast. Name it the WeScape podcast and have Josh host it.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
He's like he's trying to think of it now. Oh great!
I'm trying to think of my. I have like a fucking what's it called? A line there that I would use. WeScape podcast.
WeScape the podcast. That would be good. I'm waiting. You get it to me. We'll do it. We'll do a WeScape remix. Yep. Remix. Thanks everybody for coming on to Landscaping to the Point. Watch us on YouTube at Landscapes by Acme. Listen to us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, any podcast that's out there. And we're always glad to have you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys. And we'll see you all next week when we're straight to the point, guys.